go really well and stuff like this, okay? And like I said, I'm using a jar sauce, so we may need to add in a little bit of sugar or something to kind of offset the acidity that we're going to get from these tomatoes, which will be perfectly fine. But anyway, I'm gonna just kind of get my hands in here, crush these up just a little bit, let these cook up a little bit longer, and then we're gonna toss these in there. So anyway, I'll be back, y'all. All right, y'all, we're gonna add in a little bit of garlic. Now that these have cooked down a little bit, we're gonna do just a good heaping spoonful of garlic. If I had fresh, I would use it. I don't have any. But remember, we did put that shallot in there, so that's a little bit of garlic right there too, okay? And mix that around. And then to this, and what I like to do with most of my sauces, I like to add in a little bit of crushed red pepper. And I'm talking about just a little pinch, which again is optional. It doesn't make it hot, it just always adds a little bit of extra flavor, okay? So just a pinch. Okay, got that. I'm going to stir that in. You want that garlic to just cook for just a minute or two. Not very long. You can see we got that good brown stuff on the bottom. We're fixing to deglaze that. And then we're going to add our ground beef and everything back in. Alright, I think that's good. And then I am going to use just a splash of white wine here. This is a Chardonnay, and you don't have to do this. You can do a broth, you can do a water, you can do apple cider vinegar, anything you want to do just to kind of lift this off of the skillet, okay? I like to do the white wine if I have it, all right? So just, I've got... That may be a fourth of a cup, something around that area. Not very much. And then we're going to let that cook down for just a second, and then we're going to add our tomatoes in. Okay? And again, this is just me fixing up our sauce. You definitely can just cook your ground beef, drain it, put it back in the skillet, and add in your jar sauce and go with it just like that. This is just me kind of trying to dress it up just a little bit. You know, sometimes little things like this can go a long way. So if you have the time and you have the ingredients, you know, do this, and it just kind of makes it feel more like you have slow cooked this dish all day long, you know. Whenever really you didn't, you just kind of put a little bit more time and effort into it, if you know what I mean. So anyway, all right, so we've let that cook down for just a second. Let's go ahead and put our tomatoes in. And like I said, I squeezed them down a little bit. Now you'll notice we have a lot more liquid, which is perfectly fine. But look, I mean, hardly any seeds are in there at all. So if you have some fresh garden tomatoes that you need to use, put them in a good sauce. You know it will be terrific. These are going to really help our sauce a lot. And there's still pieces of tomatoes, and I like that. I like to have little small pieces of tomatoes in my sauce, but I don't like big, huge, like real firm chunks like they were. All right? I like for them to just be small, little soft pieces, and that's what we got here. All right, I'm going to turn this back up, let this get going. Then we're going to put our sauce in, and then we're going to work on our while that is slow cooking, we're going to add our ground beef back in, and then we're going to work on our cheese mixture that goes in with our pasta to put all of this together. Hey, y'all, one thing that I did forget, since I put these fresh tomatoes in here, you know, they have a lot of acid in them. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar over them. I wouldn't put extra sugar in here if it wasn't for me putting these tomatoes, okay? So I'm going to sprinkle a little sugar over them just to kind of help balance everything out. All right, and then of course I'll give it a little taste and see if we did enough, or I always like to go a little bit less, and then you can always add a little bit more, okay? So I just wanted to show y'all that. I'll be back. All right, let's add in our ground beef. We're gonna put that back in. I'll just let that sit there and simmer for like maybe 5-7 minutes. Okay. Get that tossed around. And then we're gonna add in our jar sauce. Like I said, I'm going easy. If you wanna make your own homemade, you can do that. You can use any kind of sauce that you want to use. All right. I'm just going to pour all this in. I saved out some of our pasta water over here from where I cooked our pasta. I'm gonna, oh, it just stuck to the paper towel. There we go. I'm gonna pour some of that in here in the place of water to get out the rest of it. We don't want to leave none of this good stuff behind. Okay. Let's get all this mixed up. And what we're going to do at this point, I am going to pop a lid on this, and I'm just going to let this simmer, let all those flavors cook together really, really good. I'm going to kind of straighten up, get things put up that we've already used that we don't need. And y'all know, make a little bit of space, and then we are going to, I'll come back and we're going to make up our cheese mixture that we need for our pasta. All right, y'all, let's make our little cheese mixture. Now, I do mine a little bit different from the traditional way. Most of the baked ziti recipes, you're gonna find ricotta cheese. You know, I don't love ricotta cheese, so I'm gonna do my own little variation of cheese here. In here, I have about 3 ounces of cream cheese, okay? And to that, I'm going to add a good heaping, let's see, this is sour cream. I don't know, I'm gonna say close to 1/4 of a cup or so. Y'all just saying, just get you a big spoonful, throw it down in there, and then just maybe a hair more, okay? And then instead of the ricotta cheese, y'all know I love this Boursin cheese, okay? I'll hold it up here so y'all can see it. Y'all use this, it's a game changer, I promise you. Boursin cheese. This is just like what I use in my lasagna rolls that everybody, a lot of people made them and raved about them, about how good they were. This is a garlic and herb flavor Boursin cheese, so I'm just going to drop that down in there. Make sure we get all that out. Okay. Get this out of the way. And to that, we're going to add some parm. I'm thinking for our Parmesan, we're going to need about 1/4 of a cup. That may be about what I have in this container left here. Yep. Let's just go ahead. I'm going to put the rest of this in here. About 1/4 of a cup of grated parm. Okay. And then we're going to need some mozzarella cheese, which, y'all, I didn't feel like shredding my own cheese tonight, so I went easy again. And I got this Italian style cheese. I love this. It's very finely shredded. It has mozzarella. It has provolone, all kinds of different Italian cheeses in it, okay? So we're going to add a good, let's see, a good 1/2 cup or so of this in here, about like that. We'll stop right there. Just eyeball it. You don't have to have it just right. And then I have some fresh chopped basil here that I got off my little basil thing, and I'm going to just sprinkle some of that in there. Let's see. About that much. And then some fresh parsley. Okay, same with it. We're just going to sprinkle some in. And some salt and pepper. Let's see. Again, just sprinkle a little in. And let me see, what do we want to mix this with? And we're going to try to mix this up. Y'all let me know if you have tried this Boursin cheese, if you've ever had it. It is so good. I love this over ricotta any day. I mean, it just is so much better to me, in my opinion, of course. So, but now let me tell you, if you do want to do a mixture like this and use the ricotta, you will need to put an egg in it. That's what I love about this. You don't have to put an egg or nothing like that. All right, we're gonna need to thin this out a little bit. I'm trying to decide if I want to use pasta water or if I want to use a little bit of heavy cream. Let's see. Let me grab a little bit heavy cream. All right. Let's just do a little drizzle about like that. Like I said, if you don't have heavy cream, maybe some milk or your pasta water would be great also. I just wanted to kind of get it to where it's a little bit thinner, to where it's more mixable. You know what I mean? Because we're going to mix this in with our pasta, okay? I know sometimes like you could do like little dollops of it in there, and I thought about that. I think I've done it that way before, but I think for this, I just want to mix this in with the pasta and do it and go that route with it, okay? All right, y'all. Let's see, let me give it a little taste. Give me a little piece out. That's good. All right, I'm gonna get our pasta over here. We're gonna get this put in there and get it mixed up, and we're gonna be ready to get this thing layered up. All right, y'all, so I went on ahead, I just put our cheese mixture in here with our pasta. Now, I know this is called baked ziti. However, I like to use this protein penne pasta. But now you can use the ziti. You can use whatever kind of pasta really that you want. But this here, I tried it. Me and Braden did one day here a while back, and we really liked it. You really cannot tell the difference. And it's just a little bit healthier for you. I mean, I know it's still pasta. It's not that great for you, but hey, if it's a little bit, then that makes a difference. So anyway, I'm using this protein penne pasta, okay? And I boiled it, and of course you don't want to overcook it. And then I just went on ahead and put this in here so I could get that little bowl washed up, and we're just going to try to mix this around in here. It's really thick, but I think we'll get it incorporated. It's just going to take a minute. Yeah, there we go. Our sauce is just simmering away over here. It smells so good. And you know, don't ever overcook your pasta. Like, if whatever directions it says on your box for al dente, when you're going to be putting it in the oven, you want to cook it a couple minutes less than what that al dente says, okay? And remember, once we get this in the oven, it looks so thick right now, all that cheese is going to melt really good, and it's not going to be this thick, okay? So, no worries about that. If we need to thin it up just a little bit, we'll put some of our pasta water in there. That's why I always reserve that for just anything we may need it for. It's gonna be so good. Like I said, y'all, I've not made this dish in so long. It's been a long time. All right, I think we got that pretty good and mixed up. Let's see. We're just a little bit in here to kind of help us thin it out, just a tad. And then we're gonna get it layered up here in just a second. I've got to add some of these herbs to our, oh yeah, that's much better. I've got to add some of these herbs over here to our our meat sauce. I haven't done that yet. I like to wait and do that at the very end. Yep, this is perfect now. That little bit of pasta water did the trick. Okay, I'm gonna move this aside. That's great. It's ready to go. And then I'm going to do just a little pinch, as you can see here, just a little pinch of parsley and a little pinch of our basil. Okay, I'll mix that in. I'm gonna let this cook for just a few more minutes with those herbs in there. I'm gonna do a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. And then I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna come back and we're going to layer up our dish. Alright, y'all, let's get this started. I am going to spray my pan here just a little bit. This is a 9 by 13. We're going to preheat the oven to 375. Alright. And then first we're going to start, get you a good little scooper for your sauce. We're going to do just a little bit on the bottom, just for to help our pasta from sticking, okay? So just a little bit here to smooth out. We don't really consider this a layer. Just enough to put it around on there, kind of like I do with my lasagna and everything else. So just a little bit like that. Okay. Now we are going to do half of our pasta. Let's see here. This thing's heavy to try to pick up. Let's see, is that about half? Maybe. All right, set this over here. All right, we're gonna spread this out. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Now we're going to do meat sauce. I usually do, typically when I make dishes like this and I use this same spoon, usually it's about 2 good heaping spoonfuls. That one's a little bit extra, but let's see. Maybe a little bit more. Let's see. Well, let's do just a tiny bit more because we're only going to do 2 layers for this. So we want to make sure we get it. Yeah, that's a little bit better. All right, now we're going to add some of our cheeses. I'm going to do, want my hand off, I'm going to do some Parm. Just sprinkle some over, no certain amount. And then I love to do these cheese slices. You don't have to do this. This is the white American cheese, you know, that I was telling y'all about. You can do provolone. I've done that before, but I love to do cheese slices on dishes like this. I do the same with my lasagna. I just love it this way, but that's totally optional. So this is the white American cheese. You can get it from the deli. It is delicious. It melts up just so good, and I love it. You will too if you try it. All right, so this last one, I'm gonna just break this in half. Do one there, one there. Okay, and then on top of that, we will add just a little bit of our mozzarella cheese. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, now we are going to do the rest of our pasta. Okay. stand it looking like that around the edges. Y'all know that. I can't stand that. Alright. Now we're going to do our meat sauce. What I do with that spoon? Let me make sure and mash this down a little bit, because this is going to be, it's going to be right up there at the edge. I don't want this spilling over in my oven. So now we're going to do our meat sauce over the top. I have a little bit extra left, and that will be perfectly fine, because I like to serve a little extra on the side anyway most of the time. So we'll see. We may need to add it. Now, you talking about something good? This right here is good, and it makes a ton. And this is another budget-friendly meal. Now, your cheese is mostly going to be your most expensive thing for this, but look how much this makes. It's deep. This is, I mean, this is going to be a very heavy, full dish of good food. Okay, so it makes a ton. You'll have leftovers. I mean, it's very budget friendly considering how much it makes. All right, let's leave it at that. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to do a little bit of parm. And like I said, now you do whatever kind of cheeses you want. I love this kind of sliced cheese. I think it's just delicious. It melts up. It's so creamy. I'm going to get my other pack out. I had some in the fridge, and then I bought another little batch today whenever I knew I wanted to make this. Hang on just a second. Okay. But I love this cheese on sandwiches. It is so good. I love it just for so many different things. All right. Break this one. Lay it right there, right there. Looks like we got some little spaces over here, so let's do this right here. Let's get this right here for that last piece. There we go. All right. Add a little bit of our mozzarella. You really don't need much of this whenever you have that, because it's such a good melty cheese, you know. All right, let's do a little bit of our herbs on top. So we're going to do, of course, some parsley. Like I said, our oven is almost there. We're going to do 375, and you only have to cook this for maybe about 25 minutes. I'm not even going to cover it. I'm just going to put it in there like this. Here's some basil, and just do it like that, y'all. Sometimes I think maybe over the years I would cover it and then uncover it, but I don't even think I'm going to fool with any of that. I'm just going to do it like that. And I love to add on the top just a little bit of garlic salt. Y'all know that. It just gives a great flavor to that cheese. So I love to do that. And a tiny bit of oregano. All right, there it is. Our oven is ready. Perfect timing. I am going to pop this in there, y'all, and get everything cleaned up, and I'll be back, and we're going to have us a delicious little dish here. Okay, y'all, look at our baked ziti. Let me see if I can pick it up. I've been letting it sit here and cool for a little bit, but look at that. It looks fantastic. All I did was I cooked it on 375 for right at 25 minutes, okay? So I'm gonna get some out, and then I'm gonna let it cool, and I'll come back and we'll do the taste test. But I wanted y'all to see it here. Let's see. Look at that. It's gonna make a mess everywhere. Oh goodness, looky there, y'all. Does that not look good? Oh man, delicious. delicious. I've not had this in so long, like I told y'all. Look at it. All right, I am just going to let this cool. I'm going to take some of my fresh parm, you know, that like I do, and just do some of that over the top. But I'm not going to keep you. I've already let this video run way too long. I didn't even realize it. I should have paused it while I was doing those layers, but I didn't even think about it. So y'all can just, when you're watching it, you can just fast forward through that while I'm just layering it up after you see the first layer. But anyway, I'm gonna do some cheese on here, let this cool for a second, and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do a taste test. And I made some little bread too. I'll tell you about that in a minute. All right, y'all, I'm so excited for this. I've not made this in so long, you know, I told y'all, and I'm just like, I've not made this since I've been on here with y'all. I can't believe it, because y'all know I love my little Italian dishes. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And for my bread, if y'all notice, I just did some 2 pieces of my little Sara Lee loaf bread over here, and just brushed on some garlic butter and herb stuff and just toasted it up. That's what I do whenever I just need a couple pieces. There's no sense in me buying a big huge loaf whenever I don't need that much, and that works just as good. You know, I don't eat bread much, but I do like a garlic bread with something like this. This is still crazy hot, but you know I'm impatient. Oh my gosh, y'all. Please. Well, I'm glad that didn't hit my shorts. It almost did hit these white shorts. I can't believe I've got through this without getting anything on. Please, I want y'all to make this. That boursin, if you've never made a dish like this using the boursin cheese in the place of the ricotta, you don't know what you're missing. It is a game changer, I'm telling you. Even if you like ricotta cheese, I want you to do this for me. I want you to try this. You will love it. There's no way you can't love this. If you love these kind of dishes, if you love Italian style food, and listen, this is not authentic. I meant to say that from the very beginning. This is far from authentic. This is just my way that I like to make this little dish, okay? Outstanding. I would not tell y'all that if I didn't really think that. It is so good. And remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, somebody is taking my content and posting it. I do not have a YouTube page. You can only find me on Facebook, Cooking with Kimmy Sue. So please, if you're watching this on YouTube, unsubscribe, get off of that page, and come find me on Facebook, okay? Cooking with Kimmy Sue on Facebook. I do not have a YouTube page as of right now, all right? This is dangerous, y'all. It is so good, I promise you. It is just so, I don't know, delicious. Anyway, I've kept y'all long enough. I hate that this video has ran so long. Y'all just fast forward through some of the parts that you need to get all the way to the end. Anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.